Hey YouTube, Zach Guy here. Today I'm going to talk about sharpening serrated blades on the Swiss Army knives. I have my Highlander, which is a Wenger knife. It has a little bit different serrations on it. And then I have my Swiss tool, which has serrations on it, as most of the Victorinox knives that have serrations have. Has the same pattern. Now the main tool I like to use sharpening serrations is an EZE-LAP diamond sharpener. This is a little pocket model. Main reason I like it for doing serrations, not that I have that many knives that have serrations. I had another one of these, lost it, so I had to go buy me a new one. Not to do this video, but to sharpen this knife, because this knife had a couple burrs on the serrations. It's one of the ones I picked up at a gun show, and like I said, had a burr on it, and I needed something that I could get in there and get the burr off and get the blade sharpened back up again. So let's go on. And doing the serrated blades is really not that hard. We'll come here and you can see the pattern here on that. It's got some small teeth and then the larger scallops there, and then the, see if I get there at the right one, and you see on the Swiss tool it has one size scallop all the way along the blade. And most of the Swiss Army knives, Victorinox Swiss Army knives, have this serration pattern. And we'll start with the Highlander. Now, this is the way I do it. Other people might do it differently, but this is just the way I do it. Fairly quick, unless your knife is super dull. It only takes a couple minutes to sharpen your knife up. And with the smaller serrations, I just take all my, you can see there it's got that flat edge and then it's rounded on the back. I take the corner of the flat edge and round it on the smaller serrations and just push it through. And then on the larger scallop, I take the rod, and as I'm pushing it down through, I'm turning it. You can do that on the larger serrations. And then it's getting the edges and the points. I personally have seen some people do it where they're going like this across it. I personally don't like that, but once you've pushed it through a couple times, you'll get a burr on the back side. And with the flat edge on this, I just put it flat on the blade and then go like that, and that gets rid of that burr, and you don't have the burr on the front either. As I said, as you go through, you do each one of the scallops, and it'll just take a couple minutes with the diamond sharpener, and then you're in business to start cutting. And one of the things I like about the serrated blades is how well they cut cardboard. This is a fairly thick piece of cardboard. Most cardboard boxes are only half the thickness of this, but it's kind of a small piece of cardboard here, and you can see it just cuts right through without much problem. If I had a larger piece of cardboard, or I was cutting up an actual box, I could just go to town and go for it. It also comes in handy cutting cordage. I'll need to grab some here and just show that. And then on the Victorinox, because this one's the way they do their serrations, It would be better if you're left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I have to come from this way. But again, you just push it. And I put it at the same angle that the scallops are on. I just basically lay it flush on the scallop and then go down each one. And like I said, there are other ways of doing it, but this is the way I do it. I find it the easiest. And a lot of times you can just go through and through feel find the one scallop that's got a nick in it or needs to be sharpened, that's dulled. And by going through there and turning, I'm getting this to where it's getting over to the point of your scallop, and it's sharpening the points but also sharpening the valleys. And then and your burr's gone. And then with our test piece of cardboard, move my sharpener there. And it doesn't hurt having a larger blade to cut through this cardboard. And it cuts through very, very easily. And then lock that up. Put that there. Got a piece of 550 cord here just to show how it'll cut through that fairly easy. And then if you, I'll just grab my, because of the longer blade, I feel the, and also the way the scallops are on the Victorinox knives, they go through the cordage much easier. And then just show what it's like using the straight edge. It uses a little bit more effort to cut through it, but it slices through just fine too. The advantage on the cordage, cutting cordage, is that your blade or your edge will last longer because you got so many smaller little edges there that you can cut with. You'll be able to cut longer. Well, that's my demonstration on how to sharpen serrated blades. Like I said, this is the way I do it. There are other ways to do it, and if anybody else knows another way to do it, hey, do a video and show us. I'm always willing to learn a new way. But for me, this is how I do it. I don't have that many serrated edges. I think these are about the only two. Maybe a couple of my soldiers, newer soldiers, have the serrated edges, but I don't use them very often. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And thanks for watching this little demonstration on how to sharpen serrated blades. And remember, always be prepared.